after receiving a lot of yeses on if I should review and critique my old barrel runs, now I'm going to do that. So first I'm going to play the video, you're going to watch it, I'm going to watch it, because I haven't watched some of these in a little while, and then we're going to review it, critique it, and see what has to be fixed. This was actually my first 19 that I ever ran this run. Okay, now that you guys saw the run and I watched it through again, I'm going to review and critique things as I go along. So first, to start off with, we had him facing the chute, which was not bad because then he would just want to run in, and this gave him a little second to calm down and think. So going in, first of all, holy, where was the outside leg? Like, can we replay that? Because that was just a disaster. Like, where were we going? Like, to Antarctica over here? Like, replay that real quick. My outside leg was like all the way off in Connecticut. Like, I don't even know where that was at. So, gosh. Holy outside leg. Outside leg was needed there. I mean, he also had the wrong lead. But holy outside leg was needed there. And then I probably shouldn't have turned him right into the barrel pretty much, but he did step over for me, which was much appreciated. And then going to the second, let's backtrack a little bit here. Okay. I started bumping, like, how many strides was that? Let's count. 1, 2, 4. Like 4 strides before the pocket, like the barrel turn. Probably way too much. That was probably really unnecessary to bump 4 strides before the pocket. So that didn't need to be done. But he did come in and actually work the turn pretty nicely. That wasn't that bad. Coming out of it, stop hanging. Like, I need to just stop hanging on his face there, because that didn't give him that jump of motivation he could have gotten out of the turn there. He could have gotten a lot more momentum and just kept running, but me holding him back and holding those reins tight like that did not help. And I held him for like a stride or two, bumping, like, again, 4 strides before the barrel and hanging on his face coming out of it. I could have just put my hands forward and let him run out of it like he should have. But overall, it was my first 19. That was probably the fastest I've ever ran that horse. I think it was, actually, yeah. That was the fastest I ever ran that horse, and one of the cleanest patterns I ever got on him. Overall, not awful, not great. I mean, lots of things that needed to be critiqued here. He also had, he did have the wrong barrel going to the third for a little while, too. I just rewatched that video again. He did have the wrong lead going to the third barrel too. Could have been faulty on my part because I wasn't asking him to reswap his lead. Honestly, I wasn't even aware he didn't have the right lead. So, I mean, that definitely set him up for a little bit of a weird third, but I ended up getting out of his face, opening my hand, and letting him work the third pretty nicely. So that was pretty good, actually. I mean, things needed to be critiqued a lot. There were a lot of critiques in here, especially on that first barrel. But overall, not horrible. Was my first 19. Gonna give him some credit here. Okay, I just found another run. This one was August. 3 months, a little under 3 months later, I made this. This actually wasn't a full run. This was just a lesson cruise through. So let's see. Again, gonna play it for you one time. I'm gonna rewatch it, you're gonna watch it, and then I'm gonna critique it. Okay, let's rewatch and see. First barrel, go into it, really nice. That was actually a really solid turn. Going to the second, he was really shouldering that. He really went and dropped his shoulder to that second barrel. I want to play that again, actually. Yeah, he started shouldering that. One, two. Like 2.5, 3 kind of strides before his pocket there. He started shouldering that. I did a pretty good job in this run, which I didn't do in many runs after this, and I should have, and I never did. I rode him as long as possible two-handed around the second barrel.
While I'm editing, I'm just coming in to say this, that I didn't ride him as long as possible up into the second barrel two-handed. That was riding him as long as possible two-handed around the second barrel while still grabbing. I can ride all the horses two-handed around all 3 of the barrels. That was just riding him as long as possible up into the second barrel while grabbing, and the grabbing still doing its purpose.
So that probably should have been done a lot more in later runs, which we'll get to. Yeah, I mean, I didn't grab until he was way past his middle point on that turn there. Yeah, so that was actually a really good thing to do there. I probably could have sat a little harder. I could have probably sat a little harder about here and then put my outside leg on solidly and not just barely put it on. I could have put it on a lot harder. He would have snapped that turn a lot tighter there, opened my hand a little more. Should have got two-handed here to get him over quicker. Going to the third, he had the wrong hind lead for a really long time. Then there he swapped it. Third actually wasn't that bad. That was a pretty solid barrel. I probably should have gotten a tiny bit closer to it, because if that were an actual run, that would have lost a solid amount of time there. But that was also a bad setup from my second, so not bad. I mean, coming around it, I dropped my hand nicely, ended up getting it forward pretty good, pretty quickly, not pulling back on his face there. Overall, not a bad run. That was actually pretty solid. Again, first barrel, really decent, really solid, good barrel. He started shouldering that. I felt that, went two-handed, and then just coming out of it, set us up really bad for the third, but then ended up coming across the third really nicely. So I am very glad, and that's a very good thing that ended how it did. So that was Barrel Racer reacting to old previous runs, and let me know if I should do more of these.